I'll try. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Yvonne Cech, and I'm the director of the John C. Hart Memorial Library. And I want to welcome you all to the library this evening. I'd also like to introduce some members of our Library Board of Trustees, if you'd like to stand. This is Kathy Behan and Laura Tropp and Jean Zappia, who are Library Board of Trustees. And I do want to give a shout out to Town Clerk Diana Quast and Town AV Master Tom Ciangela, because it is not a simple job to move all of this equipment from Town Hall to a remote location. But I appreciate it, and I think everyone in Shrub Oak appreciates that about once a year we try and do a meeting on this end of town. So thank you for doing that, Diana and Tom. So each year I come to this board to give you all an update on how the library is doing. It's a sort of a state of the library address. And as part of the requirements for the state of New York, all libraries have to track a number of statistics and report them to the state annually. It's a requirement, but these statistics also serve as a great tool, because as we analyze them, we see some interesting trends, and that helps us to create strategies for how we can best support the community. Another New York State requirement is that we publish an annual report to the public so that you can all see what we do each year for complete transparency. So you'll see this annual report on our website, and there are some copies here for you all to take home and read. And I'm going to just mention a couple of highlights from our report with you today and this is from our 2025 annual report to the state. This is for the calendar year, January through December of 2025. Of course, it takes a few months after that for us to gather everything and send it to our library system, and everybody vets all the statistics to make sure everything's accurate before it goes to the state. So I'm going to share a few standout items with you today. One way to illustrate how much the public uses the library is to look at how many items were circulated or checked out each year in the past year. So the John C. Hart Memorial Library circulated over 400,000 items in 1 year. This is one of the highest circulation numbers on record for this library, and it equates to over 1,200 items a day being circulated out of this building. When we compare our overall 2025 circulation numbers to all of the 38 libraries in Westchester County, you can see that we are the third busiest library out of all the libraries, including Yonkers and White Plains. So that's pretty impressive, and we're not by any means the highest population town in Westchester, and yet we are right behind those big urban libraries. And so that's quite something. So Yorktown loves to read. And we're also the most cost-effective out of all the top 5 libraries, meaning we do more with less. I want to point out 3 other important statistics. The first is that we had nearly 150,000 people use this building in the past year. That's how many people actually walked through the doors. And it averages about 400 people per day. The second thing I wanted to point out is that our public computers were used about 5,000 times in the last year. And that tells you that many people in this community still rely on the library for access to the internet. And the last thing to point out from here is that we issued over 1,500 new library cards last year. That means 1,500 new library users. And moving on to our library programs, we offered over 2,600 programs in 2025, with almost 35,000 people attending our library programs. That's across every age group, from newborns all the way up through senior citizens. And that's an average of over 100 people per day coming to library programs. That doesn't include people who use the library for other reasons. That's just the people who come to our programs. So, since this is a State of the Library address, the state of the library is strong. Last year, when I did this address, I told you all that we added the New York Times online subscription to our list of resources. Well, now we also have the full online subscription for the Wall Street Journal. It's available to every cardholder from wherever you are. And you can access it on your phone, your home computer, wherever you have internet access. You can read every article, you can play the games, you can do everything that is offered by both of these important national newspapers, and it's available to you free using your library card. And as I always say, the library card is the best card in your wallet. We also continue to offer Hoopla streaming service, which has become very popular, and it's a competitor to Netflix, except that Hoopla also offers, in addition to movies, it offers free ebooks and free e-audiobooks. And if you haven't already downloaded the free Libby app for ebooks and e-audiobooks and digital magazines, you absolutely should. It will save you a lot of money. With Libby, you get all of these free resources, again, using your library card. We continue to increase our digital offerings, and this is based on the demand of cardholders because we look at the data, we see the trends, and it's based on the data that we track that we're offering these resources to you. The other free streaming service we offer is Freegal, which is a competitor to Spotify. And you can use this on your computer, your phone, your tablet. You get free downloadable or streaming music. And again, you need your library card for this. People using this service download between 1,000 and 3,000 free songs per month, just from this library. So we hear you. We're responding through the data. You have said to us, you want your traditional books, but you also want more access to e-resources. And we know this by looking at the stats and the trends, so we're providing it.
I don't mean to cut you off, but just why don't you share with the people like how electronic books work through the county? You know, because everybody thinks that electronic books, you got to have 1 million copies, but you really don't.
So the way that ebooks work is we share ebook. We share all of our resources, not only our ebooks but all of our print books as well. We share all of these resources with all of the libraries in Westchester County. So if it's a print book and you want a book and we don't happen to have a copy here, we request it from another library, and usually the next day it's here in our library. With ebooks, we share those resources as well. Ebooks that we purchase, priority go to our patrons, and then if there's nobody else waiting to hold on that, another library gets to use one of our ebooks, and we share with and we get to use other libraries' ebooks as well. So it's great to share the resources because no one library could provide all of the books that everyone wants in their town. So that is really helpful. And so with all of these e-resources, the state of the library is future ready. And let's just talk about our library programs for a moment. And I can only highlight a few tiny sampling here tonight because you saw a couple of slides ago, we provided over 2,600 programs last year. So I'm just going to name a couple. Many of you will have noticed over the last year that we have significantly increased the number of educational and cultural programs that we offer. And this was a recent Irish folk dancing presentation, which was very well received right here in this room. Our library is a cultural and educational hub for the community. We're also now doing a series of murder mystery programs, which have become very popular. We do like to vary the programs and try to provide something for everyone in the community. And we recently hosted a local author fair, an event to meet local authors and illustrators and explore their books. It's an opportunity to support local creativity. And we continue to provide services and programs that many people in the community rely upon, like free tax help, free Medicare counseling, free early literacy support, free resources of all kinds and in all formats. And here you'll see teen librarian Colin, who is also a certified notary public, and he's notarizing documents for the public here for free. We are also doing a lot more intergenerational programs, like this Yarnorama program, where we bring together beginners and experts in any category, and then we put them all in a room and we give offer some supplies, and everyone teaches each other a skill. So we provide the venue in the community for elders to pass along their knowledge and skills to the next generation. This was a pasta making program that was very popular with our teens, using equipment that we obtained from a grant. Our teens in this town want more and more opportunities to do community service and to volunteer at the library. We now have 300 teens registered in our volunteer program. That's the highest number of teens we have ever had registered in our volunteer program. So we've had to come up with more creative ways for them to serve the community. One of the things that we have done is we have taught them how to do some crafts that are related to stories, and then the teens, under our supervision of course, lead craft sessions for young children. In fact, we had one teen volunteer who enjoyed this so much that she now thinks she might pursue a career as a librarian. We also taught teens how to use our public printer in the library, and now they volunteer to be printer helpers for patrons. We had somebody out there this evening, if anybody saw them. They have a little desk next to the printer, and they offer assistance. Printers can get complicated. And now just a little about our children's programs and our outreach. Here is one of our children's librarians, Caitlin, reading to a class of kindergartners from Mohansick Elementary School, my alma mater. And the elementary schools from both Lakeland School District and Yorktown School District bring their classes here as a field trip and show them how to use, how to get their library card and how to use all the library resources. The library operates with a deep commitment to community engagement. The impact we have is lifelong. We received an email from a parent who brought her baby to our Lap Sit Baby program. This mom was returning to work after a 6-month maternity leave, and she took her 6-month-old baby to her first daycare session and was astonished to find out that her child was the only one at the daycare that knew how to open a book and turn the pages. And she sent us an email attributing that to our Baby Lap Sit program. So that's where we teach children, we teach infants how to look at board books. So we're creating lifelong readers. These are some of our storytime programs, each focusing on a different area of literacy. And while our children's programs have always been very popular, we continue to try and expand our offerings. In 2025, we held our first ever New Year's Eve party, where families brought their children to the library on New Year's Eve day, and we did a countdown to noon with over 150 people attending, and many families commented on how grateful they were to have a free, family-friendly event. So they rang in 2026 here at the library. This was one of our popular Minecraft story and craft programs. Libraries are transform communities. We are changing lives every day here at the library. So that is a tiny sampling of what we have been doing. Now what's happening next at the library? We're working on some much needed upgrades to our facility. The original house, which is what you're sitting in right now, is getting a new shingled roof thanks to a matching grant from the state. And you all know this was the original Victorian house that belonged to John C. Hart. It was a 2-story home and this is where he raised his family. And his children left it to the town for the purpose of becoming the town's first library. And so in addition to getting a new roof on this section of the building, we are about to create a teen space for the first time. With a matching grant that we also received from the state, we're going to be starting this renovation in a few months. This will also, for the first time, give teens a space that they can call their own. We are walking distance to Lakeland High School, so many students like to come here after school, and now they'll have an area carved out just for them. So we're very excited about that. And within this renovation is also a project to combine our 2 service desks and to make them into one super service desk, and to create some efficiencies with our workflows. We're also going to get some new flooring in the main section of the library. I know some of you may miss the 40-year-old carpet with the duct tape, but it is time to get a new floor. And while the library is always evolving, it's still always a place to just come and read. It's a place for knowledge in all its forms, for discovery, for entertainment, and for connection. Libraries are a reflection of the communities that they serve. So I hope I've given you a good overview and a small but representative sampling of the kinds of programs and resources that we provide, and a look at what's coming up next at the library. The John C. Hart Memorial Library has served this town for over 100 years in this same location, and we look forward to serving you for the next 100 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne.